Hi everyone, and welcome to another one of my videos. Today I have something special for y'all. That's right, I'm taking a break from character design to actually draw some fan art. Didn't think I had it in me, did you? Yeah, I'm drawing fan art today. That's right. I'm drawing fan art from the Fear and Hunger series, which so far is a series of two absolutely horrible yet awesome games. Horrible because they're thematically horrible and also hard. Awesome because of the lore. More on that later though. My goal for this video was to focus on portraits, so I hope y'all enjoy what I've cooked up. So yeah, Fear and Hunger. Here's a quick little rundown of the series for those who are unfamiliar. No spoilers, of course. And disclaimer, I've only played the first one and haven't even finished it, so what I'm saying might not even be correct. Enjoy. So the first Fear and Hunger is basically set in the worst dungeon imaginable, and you can play as 4 different main characters who, you guessed it, have just about the worst lives imaginable. Nobody is having fun in this game, except for me, of course, because I'm obsessed with the lore, and that makes it fun for me. Anyways, the guy I'm currently drawing is one of the 4 main characters. His name is Enki, and he's a dark mage who will pretty much blow over at the slightest breeze. Cool magic powers, yes. Sassy, yes. Also horrible stamina. Love this guy. Love him. He's great. All 4 of the characters end up going to the dungeon for one reason or another. Pretty sure Enki is there to acquire knowledge or something. I don't know his lore that well, to be honest. And Enki stands out for being only mildly perturbed about having to delve into a realm of unimaginable horrors. Like, if you're playing as another character, you meet him and he's just like, I'm busy. What are you doing here? Go away. And I love that. I wish I was that unbothered as well. The other 3 characters are Cara, a thief and my favorite, Darce, a knight in search of her captain who's somewhere in the dungeon, and Ragnvaldr, whose name I've never once tried to pronounce until this very moment, and will likely never try to pronounce again. He's like a berserker type though. Out of the 4, I'm most familiar with Kahara and Darce because they're the 2 I've played as before, and Darce is going to be the other character appearing in this video today. Other than the main 4, there are other characters who can join your party and go down into the dungeon with you, including Moonless, who's just such a little girl, sweet girls. Aw, yeah, good puppy, good dog. And, quote, the girl, that's literally her name, she's just the girl, who is, I'm fairly certain, the catalyst for the ending of the story, question mark, but I haven't gotten that far, so I don't know. Yeah, I haven't actually beat the game yet because it's so hard. It is so difficult, but that's kind of my understanding with the lore videos I have watched and the lore I kind of understand now. This is all about the first game, by the way. The second game is called Fear and Hunger Termina, and it's set in a more modern town, modern-ish, with a whole different cast of characters, so I'm excited to finish the first game and then play the second game and see how it's connected to the first. And also, I'm hearing whisperings about a third game sometime in the future. I feel like I saw that show up on my YouTube. Gameplay-wise, Fear and Hunger is an exploration game with turn-based combat, which, helpful tip, you should avoid as much as possible. The combat, I mean, not the game. The game's great. But also scary and with some mature themes, so if you're not into that, then yeah, actually I wouldn't recommend it. But if Dark Souls has taught me anything, it's that it's okay to run away from things that look scary. And that rule very much holds firm in Fear and Hunger. Yeah, you see something and just don't interact with it if it looks scary. Just walk away. And even if you're not in combat, the environment can and will try to mess you up. In my last playthrough, a rusty nail on the ground just ruined me, and I had to restart. But honestly, I think restarting and trying new things the next time is part of the fun of the game. So yeah, that's my disjointed and probably mildly incorrect summary of Fear and Hunger 1. Hope y'all enjoyed that. And now I'm going to actually talk about my drawing process, what's happening here. So as you can see, I'm drawing Enki emerging from a skull. Should it be the other way? Should the skull be on the inside and the face be on the outside? Yes, probably. But I liked this as an original concept, and then I drew it and was like, wait a second, maybe it should not be this way. But I stuck with it because it was just one of those days, you know? I got this far, I'm not gonna stop now. And my main goal for this one in particular was just to really focus on shading skin in a way that looks a bit more natural, and especially trying to think about, what is that sound? Just the wind. Trying to shade skin that looks natural and kind of actually has light, because if you notice in the reference photo, Enki is like super pale, like so pale. And so I wanted to make it really dramatic with the pale parts of his skin going to like the dark purple of the shading, and then to try to do something a little bit different with the skull. So that's kind of what I was going for. I think I had a pretty good go at it. Just layering and adding more layers on top to make the colors darker in the shadow parts and lighter in the highlighted parts, just bit by bit to make it a bit more dramatic. And I think he looks mildly terrifying, which is kind of what I was going for. I feel like with portraits, one of my main go-tos is like, if I don't have an idea, I'm just gonna add a skull in there. I've done it at least another time, probably way more, but I'm thinking of one time in particular, and I think it's a good go. I mean, he's a scary dark mage, so thematically it's correct, and I feel like he's the kind of guy who probably messes with dead bodies, so, you know, maybe he's just like, yes, this is my skull mask, I'm appearing out of it, and that's how it's going. Other than the face, had a pretty quick time, sorry, I bumped my mic, pretty good time rendering the hair and the clothes, made it pretty simple. And then at the very end, pretty soon, I'm gonna fudge around with lighting a little bit, because that's also something that I don't really mess around with too much. But I think in this particular image, in this particular portrait, I did a pretty good job of messing with the effects on Clip Studio Paint and making the lighting a bit more dramatic. I've said this before, but Clip Studio Paint does give you tools for a reason, and usually I don't use them, but I'm trying to get a bit more familiar with them. So like layer masks, certain brush tools, the blend tool is my absolute god right now. Love the blend tool. And those have been coming in handy a lot. So basically my lighting process is that I mess around with the colors, and then I add another layer on top. That's a layer mask. I think this one was multiply. Oh, that was the skull photo that I was talking about. And then I feel like it makes it look a lot more dramatic. I was originally gonna go for like a polychromatic look, and here I am trying to figure out how to do that with a tutorial on Google. But I've done it before, and I feel like for me, it just like hurts my eyes too much to look at. So I tried to do it, and then I gave up and just went with some more kind of greenish, dramatic lighting. And here is the final Enki piece. I'm pretty happy with it. And now on to Darce. So for the Darce piece, my main goal was to not draw a straight-on profile, or straight, it's not a profile, what's it called? Straight view, you know, just the face looking at you from straight ahead. I didn't want that, and I think I achieved not drawing that, you know, fairly well, because I have this like very on theme scary monstrosity head, which is like a mix of a side profile, a straight on profile sort of, and then a profile that's like looking upwards and off to the right. And yeah, I'm also very not familiar with drawing side profiles, but I'd say in this case, thank you to Pinterest, first of all, but I'd say in this case, I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. I think the planes of her face look really nice and dramatic. She's definitely, you know, thinking hard about her lost captain and how much she wants to find him. Lagarde, that's his name. Things don't turn out well for the two of them, or for him in particular, unless you find him in 30 minutes of starting your game file, which to me is impossible. So yeah, things are never going to turn out well for Lagarde in my game file, but yeah. So from there, honestly, it was just very simple, kind of doing the process that I did with Enki and putting it here. I went with a really pale skin tone again. Not so much pale. It maybe should have been more pale, but really desaturated, so it's just the gray gray skin. There's not a lot of bright colors in this game. I'd say maybe even the orange color here that I chose was a little too bright. But yeah, gray skin, purple for the shading because nobody looks really alive. And then just adding layers and layers of those colors until it looks a bit more, I don't know, completed, until there's more depth. And for these two, surprisingly, I did this piece in particular really quickly. I want to say the Darce piece took me an hour and a half, maybe a little bit less. Maybe between an hour and a half. And the Enki piece took me a little bit longer. I'd say an hour and a half to 2 hours, which for me is like an insanely quick time to do things. Maybe I'm just getting faster because I have a better process now. It also helps that with portraits you have less to actually color and draw on. So yeah, overall I'd say I had a really good time with making these weird portraits, and not clickbait. I might do the other two characters at some point because Cara is my favorite. I really want to try to incorporate the whole like body horror, scary, unhinged aspects of Fear and Hunger into portraits, and I think I did a pretty good job with this one. Darce is one of those characters who seems like when you meet her in game, she seems like really put together. Or if you start as her character, she seems really like she's literally a knight in shining armor. Knight in shining armor. But as you get to keep playing as her and you get deeper into the dungeon, things don't really turn out that way, I feel. So I think this is a good representation of that she's actually just kind of like coming apart at the seams and really driven to find her captain, but you know, when things don't go that way, yeah, so that's kind of her lore. I like the duality of being put together but also being incredibly unstable, so thank you, Darce. And it's kind of the exact opposite of Enki, who like doesn't try to pretend to be anything else. He's just like, yep, I'm here for secret knowledge, don't get near me. I'm kind of unhinged as well. That's like his thing. So yeah, I like them a lot, and I think this has been a really fun exercise for me, especially with drawing things that I don't normally draw. That's kind of every time I make a video, I kind of try to pick out one or two, or maybe more depending on the video, but at least one or two things that I really want to focus on in my drawing that I haven't focused on recently and that I want to get better at. And usually it's like character designs, usually it's patterns or better colors or more dynamic poses, but with portraits I get to focus on other things, which is very fun. And I don't know what to say. I'm babbling and I don't have a script anymore, so we're just going. As I've made these videos more and more, I'm just like, who needs a script? Just talk from the heart. It's awesome. You'll love it. So that's where I'm at. It's awesome. By the way, speaking of awesome things, thank you for 100 subscribers. What the hell? Me with 100 subscribers? Oh my god. 100 people like my art enough to say, yeah, I'll subscribe to that. That's insane, guys. And some of you are Fear and Hunger fans. I saw you crawling out of the woodwork in one of my other videos, and I was like, oh my god, I know what I have to do. It's Fear and Hunger time, finally. Someone can appreciate this game with me. So yeah, thank you all for your support and for continuously being so nice to me and, you know, keeping me motivated to keep drawing and putting out really insane videos like this. I'm sure I have more stuff in the future that will be fun. I don't know, I don't have anything planned right now, but yeah, that's all I got. Here's the finished piece, and thank y'all as always so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!